What if we could completely redesign our economy? I mean, really think about it. What if we could build it to actually reward us for healing the planet instead of, well, harming it? What if our entire financial system was coded not for extraction, but for regeneration? Okay, let's dive right into that idea and explore what a currency for planetary health could look like. So, to get our heads around this, let's picture the global economy as this giant operating system for the entire planet. Seriously, it's like a massive software program, an algorithm that's constantly running in the background. And this algorithm, it dictates everything: how resources flow, how we make decisions, the whole shebang. It's basically the code that runs our civilization. Okay, but that leads to a really important question, right? Every piece of code is written with a goal. So, what happens when that algorithm, that code we're all running on, is programmed for the wrong goal? What if the very source of our problems is baked right into the system, a fundamental design flaw in the operating system itself?
All right, let's dig into that. Let's really look at the design of our current economic code. I mean, the logic is built on has brought us to where we are today, for sure. It's created a system with incredible power, but it's also got some pretty serious side effects.
And here's the thing, the problem isn't really about bad people doing bad things. It's that the system itself, the code, is optimized for one thing: extraction. The goal is to maximize profit, which leads to linear growth, and the outcome, intended or not, is environmental damage. But what if we just rewrote that code? Imagine a system where the goal isn't profit, but maximizing planetary health, where the logic isn't linear, but circular. The outcome? Ecosystem restoration. Okay, so if the old operating system is full of bugs, what does the new one look like? This is where we stop just talking about the problem and start looking at the architecture of a real solution. A new engine designed for a totally different purpose. And this is where a new kind of infrastructure called the Phoenix platform enters the scene. And at the heart of it is something called the synergy engine. Think of it as an alignment intelligence layer. Its job is to help massive groups of people collaborate effectively without having to force everyone into the same box. It's all about creating coherence, getting everyone pulling in the same general direction. And you can see the basic design of the engine right here. At the center, you've got the engine itself, and it connects two really crucial things: a trust management system, which is basically a way to verify claims and build real confidence, and a reputation token system. The whole point is to make trust something you can actually measure, and to build a brand new incentive structure that rewards positive, verifiable actions. Okay, now we get to what I think is the most fascinating part of all this. How does the system actually use these digital tokens to reward real-world positive action? And let's be clear, this is not about speculation. This is all about making things like stewardship visible and valuable. So first, let's get crystal clear on what these contribution tokens actually are. A token is just a digital stand-in for a real, verified, and measurable regenerative impact. That's it. It's a signal. It tells you about someone's reputation and contribution. It is absolutely not a tool for financial speculation. And this really drives the point home. You have speculative crypto over here, where the value is all about market hype and what people think it's worth. But with contribution tokens, the value is directly tied to a verified, positive impact in the real world. The goal isn't financial profit, it's ecological and social regeneration. And the whole incentive structure has flipped. It's not about holding or trading for a quick buck, it's about stewardship and contribution. So how does this actually work on the ground? Well, it's all about this value loop. It all starts with a community getting together and deciding what they actually value. Let's say it's clean water in their river. Okay, great. Step 2, those values get turned into clear, ethical standards for any project. Then, those standards are turned into real, measurable metrics like liters of water filtered or hectares of forest restored. And only then, when a contribution is verified against those metrics, is a token issued. It's a way of plugging a community's core values directly into its economy. So what kinds of things are we actually rewarding here? Well, basically, it's all the stuff that our current economy pretty much ignores, or worse, treats as an externality. We're talking about things like ecological restoration, actual stewardship behaviors, but it's also about amplifying trust, sharing knowledge across different fields, advancing education, and building up real community resilience. It's the good stuff. Okay, so that's the theory. But how does this digital code actually translate into restoring our planet? Let's look at some of the real-world applications. And a really core principle here is that this is not just about fancy new tech. Not at all. It's about integrating that technology with the deep land-based wisdom of indigenous communities. I mean, the people who have been the stewards of these ecosystems for generations. It has to be a partnership, one that's built on respect and co-design from the ground up.
A big question, of course, is where does the money come from? Well, what's so cool about this system is how it aligns all these different sources of capital. You've got impact investors, philanthropic funders, public grants, corporate sponsorships. All of them can be channeled toward the projects that are actually demonstrating these measurable regenerative outcomes and earning these contribution tokens. And this is where something like AI becomes an incredibly powerful tool. It can help coordinate all these restoration networks by linking satellite monitoring from above with data from local communities on the ground and connecting that to the investment flows. You see what happens? It creates this amazing feedback loop. The more impact you can verify, the more funding you attract, which lets you scale the work even further. So when you zoom out, what's the big picture here? What's the ultimate vision? Look, it's not really about a new token or some new platform. It's about fundamentally recoding our entire economic paradigm so that it's actually in service to life. And that means we have to radically shift how we even define things like growth and prosperity. Imagine if, instead of just measuring success by financial throughput, we started measuring it by things that actually matter. Things like the vitality of our ecosystems, the density of trust in our communities, and our ability to bounce back together, our cooperative resilience.
There's this quote that just nails it. Profit becomes a tool serving regeneration rather than a driver overriding it. And that's the whole shift right there. It's not about getting rid of profit. It's about putting it in its proper place. It becomes a tool we can use to serve a much higher goal, a healthy, thriving planet, instead of being the one and only goal that trumps everything else.
And that really brings this whole thing back down to a personal level for all of us. So I'll leave you with this to think about. If we actually did it, if we built an economy for regeneration, what would you be rewarded for? What kind of contributions would you want to make?